I'm back. Sorry about this. I was talking about my life and nobody could hear me. I wait for someone to come on and let me know if they can hear me now. I've done a test. You see, I didn't do a test. There you go. You always have to do a test to be prepared. So someone is on. Can you please let me know if you can hear me well and if you can see the picture well? Please, pretty please. Okay. No, you won't? Okay. I'll write down the question. If I don't get any answers, I'll carry on. And I hope you can hear me. I could hear myself doing the test, so hopefully I'm still on. So I'll start again. The Tarot Sun. There's no words. You know, I try to express how much fun the Tarot Sun was. First, by doing it, I was so nervous. It's technology. You see, my subject, I know it quite well, so I can talk. I mean, we can all talk about tarot for hours, can't we? So until we have no air left in our breath. So that wasn't worrying me, having nothing to say. Well, the thing that worried me was technology, and you can see it now. It's my second try for the live because nobody could hear me. So I was just amazed by, it was magic. Everything I watched was magic. Oh, thank you, Kirsten. And you can see only white because I had put nothing there. So I put a deck there. So, and it's good people didn't hear me because I forgot someone's name and I was really feeling bad about it. So the Tarot Sun, can I say how amazing you're all, guys, and you supported us, and it was the first and one of my first lives, and especially in such a structure, that I can't thank you enough for your support, your kind message afterwards. It means a lot to me. Now, I had to sleep that night because I was going to work the following day, so I missed a few channels. I stayed as much as I could. But this morning, I caught up with Melissa, Salvaggio, and she did. Oh, thank you, Kirsten. That's really kind. I loved sharing it, and it's such a beautiful spread. So I watched Melissa Salvaggio's about tarot as a collector. Now, you could say that in a way we're all collectors, but I'm not. I have a few decks that are part of my collector's collection. Most of them I sold because I realized, and I'm still in a process, I realized I like space more than things. And believe me, it's an internal fight. It's like I one click and then I go, oh no, I can't have one more deck coming in. You know, it's a constant fight. But that's not my point today. I was watching her excellent presentation about tarot as a collector, and people kept asking her, what are your out of bounds tarot decks or decks in general? And she didn't answer the question because she couldn't understand the question. So someone wrote that decks that no one else touches, right? And I thought there's a VR to do there. It's very interesting, and you know how much I love showing cards on my channel. I just, you know, I could show just all my cards every day, just film my cards, like, you know, and that'd be enough for me. But what you're seeing here is the Morgan Greer tarot in a tin, right? And this is the only deck that people can touch, that I take with me everywhere. And you can see the box is knocked a bit because it's in my bag, and there's a lot of things living in my bag. And I pull cards on people when I want to know who they are, when they give speeches, when I go and watch artists' pictures, for example. I like to pull a card and see, you know, what are these pictures telling me? Who's this person? Who's this photographer? Anything. And this is the only deck that people can touch. That's it. I've done my video. I'm joking. But out of my collection, let's say maybe between tarot and oracle, maybe I've got 100 or 80. 80. I think 80, and it's probably 100. And it's still way too much, right? And I'm saying I'm not a collector, but I'm not. I use most of them. I've already sold half my collection, and I'm still purging. But this one is staying because it's the only friendly deck for everybody. Anyone can touch it, do whatever they want with it. It's the you can play with me deck, right? And that's the only one out of all the decks I have. So I wanted to show some decks that are so special, and believe me, it takes a lot from me to show them. I did show them before, but I don't like exhibiting them much because they're mine, and they're only mine. Oh, sure, Kirsten, I could, because this deck is fun. For a while, it was my workhorse, and I sold the original. I had the full size, but yeah, I like having fun with my tarot and seeing who people are and what the cards want to tell me and about them, and it's fun. It's really fun. So this is the only deck basically that everybody can put their dirty paws on, and I don't mind, right? Yeah, it's a great deck. As I said, for a while it was to become my workhorse, and then another one took over, and then I kept the other one for more than 20 years. So, but it's a great. I love the colors. It's great for chakra readings too. Believe me, this is a great one for chakra readings. So that's it. I've shown you the only one that people can touch. I know it's bad. It's a control thing. And I don't control many things in my life, but I can control that. Let's start with the first one that nobody can touch. This is my first deck. So somebody made a box for it because it's falling apart. The box is, it was my first deck. I found a book. If you go to my channel, you know about it already. I found a book in a small French ski resort about tarot and psychology. And what I liked in it is that there were a lot of drawings on it, and I was really inspired by it. And I thought, I'll buy the book. And next to it was the deck that accompanied it, because it was referred in the book. And I thought, well, if I take the book, I'll take the deck. I didn't even think about tarot. You see what I mean? To me, it was a psychological tool. I didn't know it was a tarot. It does say the new tarot deck. If you can still read it, you see how bad this is. But it didn't strike me as tarot. It was just this thing that came with the book. So step into new psychic space. From 1974, California, in 74. That must have been fun. So this is the booklet, falling apart. But I put tape on it, and, So this nobody touches for a good reason. And I don't take it out much because it's falling apart and it's breaking my heart. It's the first, the first deck I bought was independent, and I didn't know about it. I realized years later that it was an independent deck by Hurley and Horler. It's a black and white deck. It's small cards, like playing card size. I always keep forgetting getting another deck for comparison. Always. Oh. So it's playing card size. And there's nudity. So I just warn on my cards there's nudity because I don't mind. And this deck, with one card, you can go so deep. I don't know. These guys were into psycho magic, and I suppose they had a funny life at the time. You know what I mean? 70s in California. Right. Not everybody, but I mean, So, you know, the devil is the devil here, and you know what I mean. It's very deep. So this was my first deck, and this nobody ever touched, and nobody. Well, that's the devil, right? Nobody will ever. I could maybe put the camera down a bit so you can see it a bit closer. No, it's not. It's the other way around. There. Let's see if I can bring it down a bit. I've lost you now. Here you are. Okay. So, yeah, you see a bit better. So nobody puts their hands on this one, just me. And even that, I mean, I took it everywhere. I took it in bars. I'm sure, you know, some yellow stains on it are beer and alcohol and whatever. I took it to parties. I took it. Oh my God, this deck has seen my life. And that's my point. Look at this one. It's just so stained. It's in my life. So it's very precious to me, very precious, and nobody touches it. So the new tarot deck, which is not new anymore. That's the second edition, sorry. If you want to know what edition you've got, it's here. Second edition. Yeah. So that's a out of bounds deck. And you know, you know what it's like when you've got friends and they say, oh, you know, can we see some tarot decks? And I'm like, sure, you know, I'll bring some out. And I bring them out, and the they do, they go grab, and I go, oh! I stop breathing. Honestly, that's what it does to me. And I'm like, please don't touch, right? It's so that's why I've got my tin Morgan Greer. I get this one out, and they can do whatever they want with it. I'm going in order here of maybe the way I bought them. I was talking about my workhorse. You've all seen it. That's the box for it. It was my mum's box. You've all seen it. It's my Aquarian deck. Now, you know, people say, oh, it's an ugly deck. Faces are too white and there's no expression. And I agree with everything. But I don't like the Rider Waite. I just don't like it. I don't mean to be rude because I learned with it, and thank God I had it to learn. But as soon as I could get out of the Rider Waite, Smith, I did. So it's based on it, obviously. But there's something about it that made me like it. I don't know. I can't explain. I don't find it the most beautiful deck on this planet. And I show you the backs. They were the original backs. I don't find it the most beautiful deck on this planet, far from it. But this is, how can I say? It's like a friend. We have a conversation. I'm like, okay, I'm about to ask you a question, and the deck goes, sure, there's the answer, right? And we're having a conversation like this. So this one, as you can see, it's original 1970, and I'm not saying that to say, haha, I've got the original. It's not that. It's my workhorse. It's the one I read with professionally. It's the one that's seen the tears, the sweat of learning tarot. It's the one that offered gifts to people when I was doing incredible readings. It's the one that frustrated me when I couldn't see anything. We've been through it together for more than 20 years. So it was getting a bit dirty on the side. So I decided to put some white Sharpie, where it's similar to Sharpie. So I whitened it again, and it just looks like new, nearly. You can see a little bit on some cards that it's been used, but it looks like new. So I decided to use it for my taroton because it's close enough to the Rider Waite, and I wanted most people to understand what I meant. If I had a deck that was too obscure, it just, you know, I would have lost a lot of people. I think most people can relate to the Rider-Waite. And yes, it's not the prettiest deck. I do agree on everything people say, but it's my beloved. It's my beloved. So, out of bound decks, nobody touches it. It's got my energy. I remember I asked once working medium. She works with cards, and I said, "How do you, you know?" I wanted to know if she was working, so I said, "How do you split the cards and you let clients touch your cards?" She said, yeah, they should pull their own cards. And I tried, and every time I felt like they're touching my cards, you know. I know it's silly, but we all have our things, don't we? So I decided to pull the cards myself. They don't touch my cards. I read their energy. I go into their energy field, and that's enough. They don't need to come into mine. So that was it, the Aquarian. Then I've got something that's very peculiar, and this is more collectors collect up again, or let's see a little bit. So you can see there are huge cards. Yeah, that's a bit better. They are humongous cards. They're called Les Tarots du Non-Être Suprême, and it's by Baudouin. And I got this about the same time than my new tarot deck, the new tarot deck. And it's, I think it's Buddhist. It opens like a book. And there's a little introduction. It's from 1979. There's secret geometry as soon, I'll put it up a bit. There's secret geometry as soon as you start. And then they talk about I'll show you with this. There are, so that's the first card, second card, and it's all poems. It's not even, I don't know what it is. And it goes to 4. And then we have the cards themselves. I'll show you. Right. The one who creates with his thoughts. Right? I've tried Googling it. The thing is, at the time when it came out, there was no internet. You know, now when a deck comes out, about 100 people post it everywhere, and you know everything about the deck in a minute. Well, I know nothing about this one. I tried Googling it. There's next to nothing about it. It's still in good condition. Sorry, it's still in very good condition. I must admit, I don't use it for reading. I look at it now and again, and I'm thinking about framing it and just putting it all over a room somewhere, but I've never done it so far. The master of the 3 words, look at that. If you think about sacred geometry, so that would be the emperor. The Hierophant. Heidi, yes, yes, some decks are only yours and yours only, and that's that. And for me, showing them is already a lot. Like this one, for example, I'm sure this is a collector's, and you know, I don't air it often, so I won't bore you with it. But you can see the style; it's huge. It's not even cards. It's kind of a tarot book. A tarot book. That's Justice, the master of karma. Look at that. Isn't that exquisite. And I don't know why I bought it. I was a teenager still, early 20s when I bought it. It's just the sheer beauty of it. But once again, you know, I had my tarot and I was learning with my book, but I wasn't into tarot. What's at the end? Number 22. So there's 22 cards. So it's like that's the diamond being. Yeah. They are meditative. You can just, I don't understand most of it. And that's the back, like playing card back. That's weird, isn't it, what they've done? I've never seen it anywhere else. I don't know who Baudouin is, but I'm keeping that. It's such a privilege to have this. So nobody puts their hands on that, just me. So let's say it's part of my collection. This is one of the rare decks, if I can call it a deck, that I collect. Because I've sold a few that were really collectible and I didn't have any feelings for it. But this one, I just can't part with it. There's something about it. So, as we are collectors that I don't really use, that's the next one. The Niki de Saint Phalle tarot cards. And this was a limited edition. I believe it was in Liverpool. And by that time, I was heavy into tarot. And I saw that there was the tarot deck, and I said, oh, that's mine. Every time there's a Niki de Saint Phalle exhibition, I believe they still have the tarot for sale. But so that's hard to find. So that's part of my collection. Once again, I collect it because I love it. I think I have 2 or 3 decks I collect, and that's it. All the rest I sold. But the Niki de Saint Phalle, she's been my favorite artist for a very, very long time. She made the booklet herself and drawing the name of the cards in French and in Italian, because she created the Tarot Garden in Tuscany. In case you haven't seen anything about the Tarot Garden, go and have a look on Google Tarot Garden and run to Tuscany. I haven't been yet and I'm not that far. And I just want to go with a special person there so we can share it. I don't feel like I want to go on my own. And that special person is miles away. Anyway, so it was printed in 15 colors in 2002. I can put the camera down a bit again so you can see the cards better. That's it. So nobody touches this one either. So that's the box. Nobody touches this one, the backs. And there you go. Let's have a look at Niki de Saint Phalle art. There's a magician. So these are the drawings of the real sculptures that are in a tarot garden. Honestly, they look great here, but believe me, these, for example, they're all kind of silver tiles, and it's incredible. The cards don't do it justice, but it's my cards. And that's my artist deck, if you want. And I love it dearly. Now, the Empress is huge. It's all mirrored. And you enter through there. And she lived in it. She lived in the Empress while she was creating all the 22 major arcanas as live sculptures. So she lived in the Empress, and it's all mirrored inside. It's incredible. I will go one day. I will go. So these are the cards. They're still in order. I don't use them for divination at all. I just take them in the evening on my bed and I look at them. And I just enjoy the thing for itself. It never beats majors only. It will never be a reading deck. It's just my piece of art that I enjoy. Yeah. I'd love to see all your special decks. Because, you know, it's not the decks that we see now, like every week a new one comes out. It's not that. It might be, you know, a very old deck that people think nothing about, like my Aquarian tarot. It's not that. It's popular because it's been in print for I don't know how many years, 30, 40? But you don't see it often on social media. How exquisite. Well, you should see the live sculptures. They are out of this world. She was a priestess. She was a priestess. And she's dearly missed. There's the Fool. So yeah, so that's my Niki de Saint Phalle tarot. It's very hard to find. I'm trying to find a copy for someone and I'm failing. Yeah. Next one, if we're still going in order, they're about the same time I found them. If you watch my channel, you know about this deck. It's the Elemental Tarot. I was in a tarot group, and my teacher, she did a tarot group every month, once every month on a Sunday. And one day she was showing her collection. She had about 10 decks, and she showed this one, and I thought, I'm not going out of this room without this deck. I was ready to give everything I had on me and walk back naked home to have this deck, honestly. That's how bad this is. And this deck not only mirrors my mind, I think this is what it is with this deck. It not only it mirrors my mind, but also it taught me reading elements in tarot. And that's when it clicked. That's really when it clicked. Elements. So it's the Elemental Tarot. Oh, and you have the Judgment at the top, my favorite card in every deck. The major arcanas have this old poem. I don't have the name in my head right now. It's an old Egyptian poem that was found. So I am the one who cries out and listens. I am the knowledge of my name. Just this, you can journal about it for days. That's the Wheel of Fortune. So I have a backup for this. It's still out of print. I don't understand why. It's weird, but my mind is weird. So it does really mirror me because first it's two-dimensional. You don't see perspective in it much. And I don't have much perspective, if you know what I mean. My perspective is my imagination and intuition, but my real life is with not much perspective. I don't know how to word it. But look at that. No, Mother of Earth. I understand her better than Queen of Pentacles. I know what she means. Look at her base chakra and genitals, because that's what it is. She's linked. She's linked, and not only to that, but also to the elements. I like the two people dancing here. And this is what I like too. It's all these different layers on each card. There's a lot in it. Obviously, there's a lot of different languages on it too. But this is me. This is my mind. It's two-dimensional. And at the same time, it's, I don't know, I could say a bit bizarre, but It makes sense to me. This deck makes sense to me. It comes alive when I read it. It moves. It comes in 3D then, and I can see the movement, and I don't know how to explain it. Plus, I'm very attached to anything Egyptian. I've always been. Sometimes it's a teenage phase, but my teenage phase is still going on for, like so many years later. I know they reprinted the moon deck. I know. It's such a, it's a jewel. It's a little jewel. And I know. So all these layers, all the poems, all the Egyptian writing, and the planets and everything you see on here is just incredible because it's by Caroline Smith and John Astrup. The thing is, yeah, the Radiant Sun, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, that's one of my favorites too. I've got it. I paid $100 for it, Canadian dollars, and I never regretted paying that, I tell you. I saw it on sale on Facebook and I went, that's mine. I take it, and well, God, that's another talk. But we're talking about more tarot, but there will be an oracle. But anyway, nobody touches that. The whole series by Caroline Smith and John Astrup, nobody touches it. It's mine. It's my mind. See, that's what goes on in my mind. So, yeah, no. And I'm in therapy too, right? So I'm doing art therapy. So I don't know how to describe it more than this. It's quirky. It has a lot to say. The thing is too, I don't know where the rights are because there were a few editions of this. Yeah, the Radiant Sun is coming out. The Oracle that you need to snap up. And I'm not into astrology, but I understand it. And they've done different shapes for different planets on the cards. It's just incredible. Yeah. So yes, I don't know who has the rights for these decks because the boxes have disappeared a long time ago. I've had that for so long. But I have the books. I should have checked. But I know that John Astrup is not with us anymore. That I know. So I'm not sure if it's Caroline Smith now on her own who decides if there's a reprint or not, or if they sold the rights. You see, at the time, and I don't know if this still happens, when I think deck authors sold the rights to publishing houses, and they would get 1%, excuse me, 1 or 2% of the sale or something. I'm not a specialist, but I've heard about it. And that's why people went so independent publishing because, they wanted to make a little bit of money out of it. And I'm sure they don't make that much out of it because, all the sweat and years to make it. But anyway, this is my little jewel that reflects my mind. Yeah. I need to move on. We don't have all day. I have to go to work after this anyway. It's morning, but I'm only working from 2 p.m. So I thought I'd come on and show you this. Another one I discovered while I was in London. It's an artist deck. It's a photography deck. And it's the only photography deck I have because I haven't looked into it. But I should get more photography decks because they are for me. I love photography and actually work in a photography festival right now. It's the Spillo Tarot. I paid full price for it, but I believe it's on sale right now, where it was last year when I looked. And it's from 2009. And it's a collective of artists who did this. So you have the name of each artist who made the cards. It's a peep deck. but it's a readable pip deck. All right, the introduction, and then, oops, that's it. What I like, first of all, is that they talk about the card, then upright, reversed, and then about the artist and what he does. So they honor the artists. So it's a collective of artists who made this. I've actually seen them live, as in real size, in an exhibition at the, I can't remember the name now, Barbican, at the Barbican in London, the Spillo Tarot. So let me show you the cards. So as I said, they're pips. That's the cups. I leave the name here. So that's the cups. All cups are different. That's the High Priestess. I know it's a little bit shiny. See, the cups are different. They are so they've really thought about it. First of all, the photography is exquisite, and they've thought about each element they would use for their pip deck. Look at the Five of Swords. You don't want to be underneath this. But then the 8, it's plastic knives. And that's why I like, and that's one of the reasons I'm not into the Rider-Waite, because swords can be fun. They're all together, and all together, these two helped us eat when we're somewhere where we're not usually, right? And short of eating with our fingers, these tools help us. So there are positive swords too here, the wands, the pentacles, more cups. So I didn't put them in order or anything. The Hangman. The photography is exquisite. Plastic cups, yellow. I need to show more wands. Yeah, the Page of Wands. Wonderful. More wands. The Moon. Oh, and I need to show the Empress. I need to show the Empress. So I'll go through it until we find the Empress, because I think it's the Empress, is it? I should have checked before. But you know, on the whim, I finished watching Melissa's and I thought I'll show people what the decks I have that nobody puts their hands on. I mean, nobody puts their hands on anything, but these, I would fight for it, right? And I'm not a violent person, but I would fight for it. Oh, Justice is, I don't know if you can see her back. Or his back, I'm not sure. I read reversals with this one too, which is unusual for me. Death. Right, let me find, because you know, I don't want to be hours again. You know, my videos, they're always long. But then I enjoy the company, I enjoy showing you cards, I enjoy sharing. That's the title cards. It's Strength. It's Strength. My least favorite card in any deck, and I love it in this deck because I understand it. I don't understand the woman and the lion and whatever animal she's opening the mouth to. But this one, look at her spine, her arm against the wall, and that the exquisite dress she has on, and I don't know. I feel her strength here. I love this card. So yeah, my Spillo Tarot, part of a collection, but I do use it. Not often, but I do use it for readings because the pips talk to me. And even the major arcanas, talk to me. If you get this, these are old coins, the ones with the holes in them. You think straight away of the past, ancestry, and you know, you can go with it. This cacti, self-sufficient. They store their own water, don't they? And at the same time, if you come too close, you get hurt. So they all talk to me, right? So let's move on. How many have I got? 2 left, right? You still with me, guys? Thank you for your patience. I know my videos are always long, and most people don't like long videos. I love them, and that's why I make them. Because I sit down, I've got my coffee, I've got a drink, and I sit down and I'm like, I want to see a show for an hour. And I don't watch TV much. Sometimes a movie, but rarely. So this is my TV, right? It's when someone talks about their cards, and, you know, like Kelly from The Truth in Story. I love watching her videos because they're meaty, they're long, she goes in depth. For me, someone just saying, okay, that's the fool and that's that. It's all right, but it doesn't really rock my boat. So next one, that's mine. That's mine. I was always aware of Aura-Soma. I got lucky that when I was a disturbed teenager, and I had terrible teenage years because one day the hormones came up and blew my mind. It's good, Dee. I love long videos. And then, you know, you get a lot of information too. And some of it you don't gel with, and others you think, oh, yeah, I'll try that. So it should be that way. Yes, in my disturbed teenagers, I had the luck to meet a woman in Geneva because I lived, as you can see, in different countries. And she introduced me to Aura-Soma. And I was 17, 18, something like that. No, a bit after 19, 20. Anyway, so she introduced me to Aura-Soma, and obviously, I wasn't in a state, in a frame of mind to go into this. But that's when I started yoga too, on and off. That's when I started yoga. So it was a difficult time for me because I felt very different. Hi, cats. You can work and listen. That's fine. Yeah, sure. I'm glad you're here. Yes, so yes, it was a difficult time for me because I could not fit in the education system, and I could not fit in the work system, or in the planetary system altogether. I just couldn't see how I could fit in all that. And at the same time, I was discovering yoga, I was discovering Aura-Soma, and people were saying to me, I started meditating. People say to me that I was in a cult, and, you know, that they shouldn't come near me. And I was in no cult whatsoever. And I never talked to anyone about any religious matters or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you've watched my channel for a very long time, and you know that I'm not into any particular thing or trying to sell Jesus or anything. So it was a tough time for me because I was discovering my sexuality, my body, my future, and at the same time my spirituality. And I had no guide. There was no one there to help me in the right direction. But I discovered Aura-Soma at the time, and it gave me joy. It gave me joy in my heart. So fast forward about, I don't know, 15, 20 years later. When was it? 2005, right? I go to the Body, Mind, Spirit in London, and behind Victoria Station somewhere. And there's an Aura-Soma practitioner. And what do I see? The Aura-Soma New Aeon Tarot. And this is the first edition, although it's not even on Pamela Matthews' website. I think she doesn't even put that it's from 2005. Hers, the ones she sold are later ones. But anyway, it doesn't matter that. The box is absolutely beaten up. Now, this is a study deck, what I call a study deck. It's a deck I have that I do very few readings with, that I test on myself, and I have 100 books. Every time I bring it out, I have all my Aura-Soma books around me. And you should see the mess when I study Aura-Soma. Oh, I've got so much to tell you about Aura-Soma. Maybe I should do an update. But I recently went to take the first level course. You know, I've been wanting to do it since I was 18 and I'm 54. Would you believe this? It's just life. Other things happen. I finally took level 1 and I took this with me. I did it in Switzerland and I took this deck with me to Switzerland. Yeah, I'll try and make a special Aura-Soma again. And it was in my bag on a train. I had the bag on my lap. I could not sleep. It's not long. It's about 4 hours train. I could not sleep because I kept an eye on my Aura-Soma deck. Then I went to visit 2 sets of friends. My bag was on my lap all the time. It slept next to me. Then during the class, it was between my feet. I just spent, honestly, this deck should have paid me. I was this deck bodyguard for a week. I could not relax. So this deck is not coming out of my house anymore. I brought it out of my house and I thought it's not coming out of my house. So what I did, I've got a backup without the bottle backs that I bought. And this is the one coming out with me. It doesn't matter if it hasn't got the bottle backs, the other one. It's the one that I can travel with and not, you know, go crazy about if I lose it or whatever, because this is my precious, precious, precious one. Oh, and it's the wrong way around. So it's in order because as I said, it's a study deck. See, the box is full of, it's like, it's falling apart, but I love it. I love my deck. I pushed that. Right, so it's in order because it's a study deck. It's got, how many cards have I got now? 115 cards. And I think that's it. No new bottles since then, so 115 cards. 22 majors, then the minors. Then what comes after that? The majors return. Where do we start the majors return? There. Sorry. The majors return, 79, of course. You know, what comes after 78? 79, okay, oh great. I've learned something today. So return means they are realized. So you've got the magician here starting with all his power and his knowledge. And he goes through his path. He goes between the pyramids and gets his true master teaching and he comes back. That's how I understand it. And of course, they've got the bottle backs. They're out of print, unfortunately. Aura-Soma are dragging their feet to have another print of it. So I think it won't be happening. I heard there was an interview with Mike Booth, who's the CEO of Aura-Soma, and he said that he was thinking about another deck. So maybe there's a new Aura-Soma under construction, if you know what I mean, but not by Pamela, I don't think, by someone else. So this is the second Aura-Soma deck. There was one before called the Aura-Soma Tarot, which is not as precious to me. This is my, you know, nobody touches. Oh, geez, nobody touches this one. I think I'd be violent. And then from card 99, when we finish the major return, then we start in archangels. And you see, I've never been an archangel person. And it's making me work with these energies. and I'm absolutely loving it. Now, whether they exist or not, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the benefit, the, how can I say, the light, the energy that comes through. So some of them don't even have bottle backs because she's printing them now from her own self. So she has it's not Aura-Soma, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So she's had to pact anymore. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's my deck. So what are you saying? I have this other deck too, but the art on it isn't as beautiful. No, Pamela's is wonderful. But what there's something I appreciate though in the other deck is that the little it's too far if I had it right here, but the pictures, first of all, the picture of the bottle is not nice, is it? It's better here. It's better on here. But if you see the real one, it's even, oh my god! I've got some downstairs, and that's why I wanted to show you. I've got the whole chakra set. I bought myself the whole chakra set. So maybe I should do a video too and compare it to the cards. That would be fun because I like to link it with tarot. I'm primarily a tarot reader. So where was I? Yes. So they have the bottles here. And at the bottom, they have a little drawing that's actually the reflection of what the bottles are saying. And that I like in the first deck, which you don't have in Pamela's, right? You don't have that in Pamela's. Yeah, cats. It's all out of print. I'm not sure if she still has some blue backs. But before it went out of print, I bought a second deck because I hope it never happens. But you know, I've lived in 3 different countries now. I've moved numerous times, and this deck is still with me, and it's just it's a miracle, right? You know, it goes when you move, and especially when you go from one country to another, things get lost and everything. But anyway, I don't know what to suggest for Aura-Soma other than, you know, keeping an eye, first checking Pamela Matthews. Sometimes she finds a box somewhere, right? And also eBay and Facebook groups, swap, because I showed this deck. I've been showing this deck for 3 years, and it started taking bit by bit. You know, some people bought it, but I believe it's such a special deck. And I'm not saying these people won't understand it. It's not what I mean at all. But you need to be, I think, a type of light worker to bond with it. Otherwise, it's too bland. It's too happy, right? This tarot is a happy tarot. I don't know what does the devil look like again. It's not. Nothing is. Yeah. I mean, it's strong, but it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, the tower, but it's less frightening. I think it's the drawing. It makes it a bit less frightening. I don't know. It's a smooth tarot, but don't despair, Kat, because I believe some people who bought it because they've seen it on social media will sell theirs. I really believe this because it's not an everyday reading tarot. It's really for people who want to go to work with colors and archangel energies and ascended masters, because there's ascended masters, all the swords, and I love that too. All the swords are ascended masters. Here they are. So yeah, I have a special story with this card too. You see, they're powerful, but in a different way. They're not powerful because you've got 10 swords coming through your body. They're powerful because of the light. It's like having being in a crystal cave reading these cards. That's how I feel like personally. So it won't give me, oh yes, you're gonna get the job tomorrow. This is not this type of day. I mean, I'm sure you could use it for that, but I don't see why you would But you can. So, yeah. So I came back from Switzerland and I said, this deck is never coming out again of my house. It lives by the front door. Yeah, they are. It lives, and you should see the bottles. Oh my God. um, it lives by the front door, as in, if I have a fire in my house, and don't laugh because I've had one before. So this is why I have that. It's not out of fear, it's out of being prepared. And of course, being prepared, you'd think I've got a suitcase with, some change of clothes and my passport and my credit card. No, I have the Aura-Soma tarot by my door. As in, if there's a fire, I run down and I grab the deck and I come out. And I know it sounds completely silly and crazy, and I know, but that's the way it is. It's so close to my soul. And the last one. Yay! You're gonna get rid of me soon. The last one, guys. I made a special box for it. It does live with another deck, and it's an oracle. It's not a tarot. Now, I've never been an oracle person, and I'm saying this, and I've got a chest full of oracles, right? Laughable. But I only had the soul cards 1 and 2. And I explained that before because I studied with spiritualists in the UK. And it's not that they didn't like tarot cards. They absolutely dead against fortune telling, which I was doing at the time. So I always try to respect other people's beliefs because, I asked them to respect mine. So while I was studying with them, I stopped tarot and I only used the soul cards because that was acceptable. That wasn't, looking into the future. That was looking into the people's energy, and they believe in that, so that was fine. And then when I hooked on YouTube and saw the community, people were talking, showing their oracle decks, and I was laughing. I thought, yeah, and I'm sorry to say this, and don't judge me because I judged people at the time, and I say, yeah, that's for people who can't understand tarot. See how wrong I was, how small-minded that thought was, but I've changed it, so I can admit that I was thinking this. And then I did see a few posts where people were posting some oracles and to add a voice to tarot, and that was completely foreign to me. And I started looking into it, and bit by bit started buying some oracles which I didn't like, and I sold them again. It took me a long time to get into oracle. And then I got a few that I absolutely love. I mean, I love all my decks that I have now. These are just the special ones that nobody touches. That's for sure. And then one day I found this French, it's not even an oracle, it's a divination deck. So I made a box for it and it lives in it with another deck. Oh, I'll leave the box here so you can see the name. It's called Carte Divinatoire d'Algariel and it's by Alcide Nathanael. It's the first edition, so it's the France Carte edition. This deck changed my way of reading. It's I don't know how to say it. I was a true hard believer in tarot, in the structure of tarot. Now, I've never been a tarot in the tarot police, as in some yeah, God, that's another judgment. I'm sorry. Some purists who probably hate me because I'm so far removed from that. I've never been like that. Oh, that means that, and you can't say that it would mean anything else. No, that's not me. I've never been a tarot purist, but I was a firm tarot reader. That tarot gives you the truth, and oracles are just for the little fluffy message next to it. And then I found these cards. They're divinatory cards, which is another tradition in France to have of course, everybody knows the Lenormand, who is actually not French. It comes from Germany, but was appropriated. Mademoiselle Lenormand appropriated herself the cards, and then the legend went on and all this. But there is a tradition, a very beautiful one I'm discovering since I live in France now, since 2012. So it's been 6 years, and I'm slowly getting into the French divinatory deck, and it's a minefield for my credit card, but it's beautiful. And I found these cards, and these just hit me in all the way I read, I think, and my taste. In decks, it just hit me. And for a few months, I could not even read tarot anymore because it hit me so hard, this deck. And I don't know how to explain it. It just did. Fabulous creator, Alcide Nathanael. They're very sepia tones. They are the particularity of them. You can read about anything with them, like any tarot, you know, love and health, and if you read about health and everyday life and personality. But it's a deck that was especially made too with an added meaning for past lives. And that just blew my mind, guys. This deck just blew my mind. And it's simple. I mean, he's an artist, so they're all paintings. But it just blew my mind, and the way I was reading. And for a few months, I was looking at my collection, getting nothing from it. It reset something in me. It's like I went back to a root I've forgotten about, right? So I rave about it. I talk about it often. I've sent decks to some people that I appreciate. You know, because they can't possibly not have it in their life. You know what I mean? But this is the first edition. I have a second edition, but the second edition stays in a box because you see, once again, this has got all my sweat, all my thoughts, all my wonder in it, and I'm not about to, you know, leave it aside because there's a second edition with a slightly, I think, better cardstock, slightly better colors, but it doesn't matter. This is mine, and the second edition can wait until this one. I can't see the pictures on it anymore. There's a delicacy. There's a depth. It can be dark, and I'm not into dark cards, as you've seen. Yeah, Michelle, they are. They're poetic. That's it. That's one aspect of it. It's like I could journal with it. I don't journal much. I draw journal, but I don't write journal. I think, yeah, they can inspire poetry. These, I don't know. There's something so pure and magical about them, and being simple, yet being so simple. So this nobody touches either. I hope you enjoyed all this with me. That was the last deck I wanted to show you. I know I've been on and on, but I'll need to go in a minute and get ready for work. But I really enjoyed sharing this with you. Now, only the second edition is available worldwide. The first edition, for some reason, France Card decided it's only for France and we won't ship it anywhere else. I don't understand this, but anyway. But whichever edition you get, if you ever get it, you'll see that. The booklet, by the way. Yes, I have to tell you because you probably get the second edition. The booklet is in French and English, so don't worry. It's small, but you can work with it. So how to start? See, yeah. So I did send it to a few English or American people, and they get on well with it. So you even have the meanings for past lives. You're welcome, Kirstine. Card divinatoire d'Algariel, my latest crush. That is mine. It's mine. And I would love if to see if you can make video responses. As I said, it's Melissa's live chat that inspired me, and I will bit by bit watch every replay I can, because I missed a few. I had to sleep because I was working the following day, so I missed a few. But I will write notes and maybe do another subject from what this wonderful community inspired me. So, oh my God, 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm beating my record. Thank you for being with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.